Grab your glass and pull up a chair. It's time for your favorite girls' night in.
Welcome to Pouring in Parenting. We're your besties, Sil and Inish.
We're here to laugh through the chaos. Hello, Pores. Let's start the show.
Welcome to Pouring in Parenting. I'm Sil. I'm a Leo, and I love drinking Moscow mules.
And I'm Inish. And I'm a Cancer, and I love drinking old fashions.
I'm Joe. I'm a Sagittarius, and I love drinking
Who
anything.
is that guy? Get out of here.
Wait, who the hell is that guy?
Just kidding, Pores. This man's voice that you heard on our podcast is Joe, as you heard. He is my brother. He is no one's husband. He is a father. He's a father of 3, and he loves to use dating apps. Welcome to the show, Joe.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for coming on and
He's
trusting
already
us.
ready to back out.
I appreciate it.
Well, in
late.
case you haven't noticed,
too late.
based on
I'm
our
locked in.
tone of voices, we are going to be talking about dating. So at one point, a lot of us watch shows like Love is Blind, that's people talking behind the pods, Bachelor, Bachelorette, where people hand out roses, a show called Blind Date, where 2 strangers are paired up and they're followed by cameras on a date. Then Love Connection, which was a game show where contestants select one of 3 potential dates. Now, I know I've watched a few of these and a bunch of others that were on MTV, but dating has definitely changed from even like 10 years ago to now. So this episode is going to be for single pores, those who might think that the grass is greener on the other side and who want to get a man's perspective on what to do or not to do when out on a date. All right, so looking back at the traditional way of dating, when I started dating, it was kind of like you either meet someone at school, you meet someone at a house party, then the clubs, the bars, stuff like that. There was no dating apps out there. There was MySpace and then Facebook where, someone would like slide into our DMs or leave a comment and, send their number or whatever. Inish, what was dating like for you? I'm sure it must have been pretty similar.
Yeah, I was not meeting people at house parties. We went to No, I went to house parties with people that I knew. I was young. I can't even wrap my brain around meeting a new person and taking their number and calling them. We went with our friends, and that was it. But I
Oh,
did
okay.
meet my high school sweetheart at the mall, and that to me was more common, was meeting people in social environments. I met my husband
sure
at a
did.
club. I met a lot of men at the club, and that was just calm down. That was just being able to see the person and interact with the person in real time and in real life is what I'm used to. And
Look,
that's what it was
you're
for
bringing down
me and
house
not at
parties
house
like
parties.
it
Yes,
was
ma'am.
like not a thing. Okay. And first off, I didn't do the calling. I would give my number out. I would get called.
Didn't get numbers.
Yeah.
It's party. No, I can't.
We must have went to totally
No.
different house parties because those were a
At
vibe.
bar, clubs.
No.
I feel like I knew everyone
Well, the majority,
there.
but then the people like from other
I
schools,
knew
like
the
other
majority of
places,
the
or
people
someone brings a
there.
friend that you don't know.
Okay, all right. Well,
Joe seems to agree.
what about you? I'm saying.
I think like it's kind of like both you guys. I'm older than both you guys, but I was so like sheltered. So I didn't go a lot of places. So you met everybody through school, or at the mall. When we did like house parties and we used to throw like backyard parties and stuff like that. I wasn't trying to meet those types of girls. So I really kind of just passed on that, but it was mostly through school. Even as I got older, because um, I went from girlfriend to girlfriend right away. There was no real dating for me in between. It was like relationship, marriage.
Yeah. So
No, Joe time.
now that you say that, do you think that if you could go back, you would date a little more than you did and not just be in those long-term relationships?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Because you think like, okay, me growing up like religious is like, oh, you want to save yourself for the right woman. You want to save yourself for your wife. You shouldn't be hoeing around. You shouldn't be doing these things. And so right, right. But if my ended up a divorce anyways, I should have just hold around.
Oh,
Right, I should have just like, "Oh, well, if I would have known that would happen,"
Okay.
you know?
All right. Well, speaking of
Let the hoeing
hoeing,
begin.
Anish. No, just kidding.
whoa.
Just kidding. Just
Wow.
kidding. She's no longer doing that.
I am
Okay.
happily married, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, it's a Moscow Mule. I
What's
think it's
going
going
on?
straight to my head. Okay, but Joe, so now
Yeah, it
that you're
is.
out and about hitting the streets or the streams or whatever we call it, um, what is it like dating now that you're a father of 3? So what type of challenges, do you face? What are the kids' perspectives? Stuff like that.
Let's go. I'm not hoeing around. So if anybody else hears this, like I'm not hoeing around. That's not my objective. It's definitely difficult. My kids come first. I never really grew up saying, "Hey, I want to be a great husband and I want to have $1 billion and do all these things." All that stuff would be nice, but I always grew up being like, I want to be a good dad. I want to make an impact that way in this world. So a lot of women say, "Oh, that's great," but when they see the difficulties that that has, they kind of back away. "Oh, you don't have time for me," or they're not available. You know, their kids are all grown up. Like women around my age, they're either already like too old, where their kids are 21 and over,
Mm,
they're out of the house and they want to go and travel the world now. They they did their time. They want to travel the world, so they don't want to deal with like my two little ones, and that's nothing against them. And then if you get the younger ones, they're either trying to get married really fast because, oh, they've already had the jerk boyfriends, so it's like they're on the clock to get married. So they want to get married also. So it's trying to balance like, hey, my kids come first. If I can find a woman that understands that and really accepts it, we can work it out.
Have you found a sweet spot for the age range that you're looking?
Yeah, it's it's a small it's a small demographic. It's between the ages of 36 to 51 within 10-mile radius.
Very specific.
15 if she's,
That's a big age
the 10-mile radius
difference,
got
though.
me.
That's a pretty
but, but like I said, the younger ones, like the youngest,
say
the younger ones, like I've tried dating like 28, 30. They lots of fun, but no way would they be ever material for, no offense to them, wifey or like relationship. They're not ready for that. That's struggle. The ones that are in their earlier 30s, they're usually just getting out of a marriage or a bad relationship, so they're really jaded, and those walls are just so hard to tear down at that particular. They haven't healed enough. And then like I said, the ones that are over 50, the kids are out of the house, so it is a
Right.
small demographic. And
Right.
I usually go from 10 miles to maybe 25, based on what city that is, but that's just because I don't have a lot of time. I can't plan, a whole weekend, and I don't like to be that guy that's canceling on people. "Oh, sorry, something came up." I wanna be a little bit more spontaneous, like, "Hey, babe, let me pick you up. Let's go to the store. Let's go grab some tacos real quick." And if you're an hour away, you can't do that. So you only get that one day maybe that you plan. Well, what about the rest of the week when I do have an hour, when I do have, 2 hours? I'm not gonna be able to see you.
right. You ain't trying to be on the highway trying to get there either.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yikes.
was on a date, it took me 2 hours to get there.
That's
I
crazy.
was like, This is out of my radius, so I'm not doing that."
Gotta adjust the
Never
filters,
I
again.
right?
should have known
Let me
better. I
bring
should
that
have
back.
right.
1
That's
to
so
10.
funny. So, question,
Yeah.
for the ladies that you dated that were in the younger range,
Ok.
what was I don't know if I like the way this come about. What was the goal there? Like, were you just trying to see if they would be a good fit?
I mean, I was just trying to see what's out there, you know what I mean? And it was more in the beginning. So you're trying to look like, I just wanna have some fun, I just wanna meet some new people. They're pretty, let's go out. But you can't have fun every single day. I can't be at the club every single day. I can't go out just whenever you want.
Interesting. And then the ones that you said were jaded. Okay, because yes, I can probably agree that there's women out there who are scorned and all that other stuff. But for them, they're on the dating website for a reason. Do you think that maybe they're on there and maybe it's just too soon for them? They haven't healed and they should get off?
Mhm. Yeah. I don't think they should get off. because somebody will fill that spot. It just wasn't me, you know what I mean? You're gonna find somebody that's gonna be the right for you, but there's just so many options out there, especially for women. They get thousands, hundreds, a day, a week to choose from, and trying to pick out is ridiculous for them. And majority of the time, guys are looking for sex, you know? So as soon as they see a red flag, they're out the door. Because what I feel like I'm dealing with the jaded ones is I'm trying to take my time. I'm trying to be slow. So they're like, "Well, then you don't like me, or you don't like me as much as I like you. So what's wrong with you? Are you hiding something?" I'm like, "No, just I got kids. I can't just rush into you something."
That is so true because I don't wanna cut you off, Joe, but my husband, the one many women ago, he stopped talking to her, and that was the first thing that she thought was, "Oh, there's something wrong with me." And I distinctly remember him telling me that, we're talking like 15 years ago, 15 plus years ago. And he was like, "Yeah, she thought that there was," because he didn't make a move on her. So
Right.
that's a that's a crazy statement to hear, like 18 years later, that women still have that mindset that they've been approached maybe not lovingly or just tenderly from a man, to they can't even recognize a good man in front of them because they're so used to maybe a man just being so aggressive, and they think that that's normal, or like that's a gentleman. Like, "Oh, okay, like this is normal." And then here comes gentleman Joe trying to take his time with the ladies. And she's like, you don't like me? That's crazy." So I clock that. I hear that.
A lot of people don't
Ugh.
don't think that. No, no, I mean, it's good, like, the women don't, like you said, they don't think that. They think that something's wrong, or that you don't like you, or, like, I'm a slow burner, or, like, I don't
What?
try anything on the first date. Like, I'm good with the handshake, we can
Yeah.
a fist bump. There ain't gotta be
Not a fist bump.
there's no
Look,
there's
Joe. Joe, don't be fist bumping them
it's a
girls.
joke.
Okay?
I give him a side hug, a little kiss on the
Alright,
cheek, maybe if
okay.
the vibe is right. But that's at my age, that's not my goal. It is not, smashing and dashing. It's I really want to get to know somebody. I want to fall in love. I want to meet that person that's going to, fulfill the things I need. You know, and it doesn't start. It doesn't.
Yeah, you're a single father of 3, so that's like you said, that's the your first priority are your
So
kids,
many women out there that wanna be, like, macked down on the first date.
which is crazy. They do.
This sounds weird, but I've had more ladies offer me sex, not just that, like, offered sex, but, like, wanna have sex without the relationship, and it blows my mind, like, I can have, like, 4 or 5 girls wanna have sex, go on dates with them, have sex, and it's not an issue, and I'm the only guy
Mhm.
probably like, "Nah, I'm good on that, I want a real relationship, I'll pass," "Thanks." So it is surprising to know how many women that just sometimes miss that physical attraction or attention that they're not getting. I thought everybody was either going to be like, especially the women, like, nope, I'm not giving it
Wow.
up. But yeah, there's a lot
Dang,
out there that are like, hey, I'm down.
yeah, my
Giving it
mind
up.
is blown.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right? Jeez Louise.
I'm keeping my man at home.
I think it's also just depends on who you meet. So if you're meeting these women straight out of a relationship and you meet a nice guy that's showing you the right attention, you understand why they might be a little bit more attractive or be easy to but you have to also let
Mm.
that man, if he's a good guy, he really wants to get to know you. He's not trying to rush into that. And my thing is, I don't want to rush into that. And then we build a sexual connection, and then there's nothing after that.
But yeah, 'cause
Then what?
that only lasts so long.
Right, exactly. And then trying to get them ready to introduce to my kids. You know what I mean?
Crazy. What's your
Like,
name again,
nah,
girl?
Gosh, dang,
Look,
that's nuts. Okay, and then how do the kids feel about this? Do they know that you go out on dates?
my kids want me to be happy. So they do want me to date my two little ones. She's going to be 10 and 12. Um, They don't really know when I go out on dates. So that's another hard thing is I don't make it a Friday, Saturday thing where I'm going out with these women. I go on the days that I don't have my kids, which is usually like Mondays and Tuesdays. So finding somebody that's available to date on Monday and Tuesday can get tricky. And then once we get past that stage, I don't mind giving up a Friday or a Saturday. So if I go out and the kids happen to be home, that night, I usually just tell them, hey, I'm going to go run an errand. I'll be back later. I'm going to go out with some friends. My oldest is a big help. So he'll watch the kids for me and he knows like I'm going on a date. And I give him the little gossip here and there. I don't give him everything, but I give him a little gossip here
Just
and there,
enough.
yeah, how things went. But I don't want my kids to see daddy going out all the time. I don't want 'em to have that perception or like, "Oh, my dad's a hoe. He's out with a different
Huh.
chick every, every other weekend," or anything like that. Nor do I ever want somebody to be like, "Oh, you're going out all the time and you're leaving your kids alone, or you're leaving your kids with your son." Kids are
Yeah,
my responsibility.
yeah. That's great.
But
I
they
wish
they want me
there
to be happy. Sorry.
No, no. I'm sorry. I'm just saying that's a great perspective to have, and I feel like a lot of people that are in the dating world, I would hope they have that energy.
I think it's a great quality because women will see that you do put your kids first and you're not constantly going out on dates like that, they are your priority and you're not leaving them on the weekends. I mean, you have your kids full time, so that's different than most fathers. So most fathers who are single and in the dating world, half the time from the ones that I've seen, I can't speak obviously for all single fathers with kids, but they leave their kids on the weekend with grandma, whoever, to go out on dates instead of being with their kids. And I don't think I would respect that as much as like someone who just tries to, okay, I don't have you guys today, so I can go out on a date. Do you get what I'm saying? That makes sense. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, I
no.
mean, they got 5 days to date, you know what I mean? They have options. "Oh, yeah, I see my kids on the weekend," and not dissing the dad or anything like that, but just the time that they have, to actually date, you know?
That's
I
it
do.
right there. Oh,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I don't wanna cut you off.
No, you're right, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just about to say that that's it right there. Majority of the like, you're a rare breed being a single father, right? It's, "Oh, single mom," but the fact that you have the kids more often than not is the flip side to the man. And I think that the men that typically don't have their kids, and not bashing them, because I know the guys, I know those men that don't typically have their kids, and they're like, "Crap, like, it's a Saturday, I have my kid, but grandma can watch them, and I'm gonna go out on this date."
Yeah.
Not bashing them, but that's kinda just all they know. And so, the fact that you're in the space that you're in right now, and you've made all these adjustments in your life is admirable. Which is yeah,
yes.
it's you're a rare breed, to say the least.
Love my kids a lot, and I never wanna throw any shade at my ex.
Yes.
It
No
just is
shade.
what it is. It works. Yeah, it works for us, and I would never do anything to jeopardize my time with my kids. So if a woman is not available, then she's just not right for me, and that's okay, and I just wait for God to send the right one or me to drink it off. That one's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely no shade to the BM, you know what I'm saying? We all know the BM. Ain't
All
no
right.
shade to you, baby
So
girl,
a couple of
at
stats.
all.
To Mashable.com, 65% of people age 18 to 29 have used a dating app, and 1 in 10 have found their significant other. So I actually do have a success story, and I did get permission to share, but I did say I was not going to say any names. But there is a couple in my family on my husband's side, and they met each other on a dating app, and they are now happily married with the cutest little baby boy. So I did ask them some questions, and they actually met during COVID. Remember that time everything was shut down. So if you were already dating someone, like, how are you going to meet anyone? Everything's shut down. You can't go anywhere. So apparently, they were both on dating apps and they used an app called Hinge. Have you used Hinge before, Joe? You have? Okay. All right. So that might be the one for you, hopefully, maybe. And basically, it was just swiping. They found each other. They messaged for about, I think, a month. They had like a Facebook, what is it? Like a meeting, I guess, when they're like a virtual date. And they just like really hit it off. And it's so awesome to read how natural and effortless their relationship came to be, being that it was COVID and you can't even like be around people without a mask and touch each other, God forbid, right? But they did it. And after like a couple of months of talking online or messaging online, and then talking on the phone, they went out on a date in real life in person and they hit it off and they've been together ever since. So, yay for them. And I love this couple. They're so great. She was such a great addition to our family.
Awesome.
But yeah, so just putting out there, there is definitely hope for people. And if you can meet someone during a pandemic when everything's shut down, there's definitely hope for sure. All right. So
Absolutely.
It's a lot of money you're saving, 30 days. You
Okay.
don't have to go on real dates.
Okay. Okay, Facebook coming
I
through.
bet.
It's a lot for a guy, like, man. First when I first started dating, trying to get used to this because, like, remember I said I didn't do this dating stuff, so I'm reading whatever Google tells me to do. And one girl, you bring her flowers, and she thinks it's too much. You spend $200, and you're like, I don't even like this girl, but I'm already halfway through. Like, I'm not going to leave the food here. So you spending all this money. Then the next one, you're like, I'm not buying nobody flowers. Cool. She's like, oh, you should have brought me flowers. Like, you can't win. So it's like, no, we're getting coffee and a drink or a drink or two. Maybe we'll get a dessert. I'm not spending $300 on the first date. I can't afford that. Like, it's crazy. But the time you said that they had to just sit there and talk and get to know each other with no pressure of having to go out, that's awesome for them to build that bond.
Such a great love story that came out of a dating app and came out of COVID. And then, like I said, they're married
It
now.
is.
They have a home and a baby, and things are great. So, for all those of you listening, our pours out there, there is hope for
That's
you
awesome.
out there. Just got to make sure you're putting out the right stuff on your apps. So, with that being said, Joe, as you're on your dating apps, okay, and you're swiping, right? And this is just what I've never really used it. Well, I can't say really, but I had a friend that I used to work with, and she was a lot younger than me. She was just out in the dating scene and she was using the dating apps and she would tell me about all these dates. Like she had the craziest stories and experiences. Like one time someone like just totally blew up her toilet and then took off. Like, I mean, there was so many red
What?
flags and the fact that she let him in her home because he had to really use the restroom and he didn't use public places and then had the audacity to like destroy it. Right, he just
Yeah,
destroyed it.
that should have been
I
her
would have
red
thought she would
flag
have been
right
done with
there.
the dating app. She kept going, so I was like, I had to kinda, like, live through you a little bit. So I would, like, go on there and I would, like, look, but then, we were working, so I couldn't do too much. But oh my god, it just seems so much fun. When you're on these apps, what is, like, the first thing you're looking at?
Well, when I first started the other apps, 'cause I was looking for love, like, let me look at your picture. I don't care about your distance. Let me see if you're nice. Let me see if you're religious. I'm reading all this stuff and then swipe. Now I'm to the stage is like, you're cute, you're cute, you're cute, you're cute. And sometimes my finger doesn't stop. So it doesn't matter if you're ugly because my finger still swipes. So I got to bring it back a little bit.
Reel that in, Joe.
Wait, wait, wait,
I
wait.
need you to reel
Stop.
that in.
Right, right.
We
Stop.
need some
Stop
we need
doing
some
that.
standard.
Right. So, um, you swiping, and then if they like you back, then I start reading. Where's your distance at? Where do you live? All right. Once you're in my mile radius, then I'll read. I'll continue to read some more. You know. But the first thing I try to look for is I'm probably the negative person. I look for red flags. If your stuff already has red flags, I'm not dealing with it. So you have to have some kind of religious belief. So you don't have to be straight Christian or Catholic, but as long as you have a relationship with God, that's important to me because I know our values will align. The next thing is if you don't drink or don't do drugs. Like I don't do drugs, I don't want that. If you smoke, I kind of don't want that, but it's okay. But if you're like, I don't do nothing at this age, you have some kind of addiction that I don't know about, that I'm not trying to figure out what that, in my opinion, this could be
Right.
totally wrong. Something made you turn to God for you to be like, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do nothing. Like, what kind of addictive personality do you have that I'm not trying to get into? And I have not been wrong on that though, because I have, talked to some people and they're like, And you're like, "Yep, I can understand why you don't, drink at all or don't like don't want no alcoholics, but you don't have a sip, you don't have, here and there social gatherings." Like, "No, I just go to church every single day." Okay. So like I said, I look more for red flags.
Is it like a
That's
family
fine.
member? Is it like because like, oh, my dad was an alcoholic or the parent was addicted or
I'm
something?
just gonna speak from the ones I know. They've either had some kind of addiction to either drugs or alcohol, or sober, and they don't want to be put in that situation. And I would never want to be somebody's downfall. I would never want to be they're around, like me. I don't drink a lot. I usually don't have a lot of drinks in my refrigerator or anything like that. I don't go
I was gonna
purposely
say, I was
purchasing.
just at
I
your
have them
house.
from what friends have and left over. So if we're gonna get together, yeah. Oh, yeah, if I have it, that's all, like, friends have bought. I've had that 6-pack, 12-pack of whatever Sunny beer that is for, like, 2 months now. I'm still have the Crown that Sean bought us from a long time ago. So, it's rare that, like,
Really?
alcohol
Crown?
is on the
I'm
list.
there.
Yeah. So
My ears perked up.
that but if we're having a good time, we're having a party, I don't mind having a drink. I don't wanna have to babysit you now. I'm too old. Or like I said, I don't wanna be your downfall. You're with me, and I'm not be like, "Oh, you can't drink, we can't go to my family's house, we can't go here, we can't go watch the game because 'cause you're gonna be tempted." I don't wanna be part of anybody's downfall,
Mhm.
so I was like, "Nah, I'll just stay away. I'll stay away from that." And women that have a lot of kids, that's a I already have 3. So then you gotta think about how big my truck is, like, I can only fit so many people in my truck. So, do we have to meet everywhere together? Let's go to Disneyland. Well, you gotta bring your car, and I gotta bring my car, and I'll pay for parking.
So is there
Right, I
like
gotta
a
pay for her parking
max
too?
number?
Like, that's a whole lot of kids.
Realistic. These are realistic. Like
No,
2.
I mean, you would like 2 or 3 max, you know what I mean? If they're older and their kids are older, then you don't really have to count them. But if they have, like, little kids, then they're gonna be
We
around.
talking car seats and shit, you know what I'm
Car
saying?
seats, right, doc, I don't want no little ones. My
Mhm.
age is fine so my kids can have somebody to play with, but littler than that,
So
I'm not gonna
on
say
these
it's a no
apps,
because you
do
never know,
women
but
put the ages of their kids on there?
usually not. They just
I
put
haven't
how
heard
many
that shit
kids,
right now.
it was kids, and then, like, it goes into the conversations of how many. I've seen there's some apps because 'cause I'm on all of them, that they state, like, how many kids they have, like 4,
Like,
5
maybe they're open for
plus.
more?
5 plus, what does that mean? Yeah, like,
Means a
you
lot.
can't no, I'm not ready for more. I don't want any of my own.
So would that also be like
Like,
a
I'm
red
done.
flag, like someone who still wants more kids?
Mm. I don't think it's a
I
red
would say no
flag.
because you never know what God wants for you. You know what I mean? So you got to think about that. Like, this is really is a good person. It could be up for debate. It could be up for a discussion. But
Mhm.
I'm not going to sit here and be like, yes, I want to have kids. And then you jump into a relationship. I'm like, no, I don't. We can talk about it. I really don't. But if I love that person and I'm trying to marry that person and that's something that she really, really wants, why would I not give her that gift? I think it just depends. But also, like, you see nowadays that a lot of women that have multiple kids, they have multiple baby daddies. So it's like, okay, what drama comes with that? That's got to be play into your head. If you're serious about a relationship, that's got to play into your head. I'm not trying to get into a fight every time I see you. I don't have to worry about this dad showing up or, all that extra stuff. So it has to play into your head a little bit.
Absolutely. Especially with getting older too, right, comes if you're dating older women, there's more kids potentially to be in the picture and potentially more baby daddies.
Right. Anything that you for sure stay away from other than, kids and radius and all that.
No, I try to be open as much as possible. You know, Try to be nice to everybody that I meet, give everybody a chance. I think I still have my own issues. I've honestly made some really good friends from the dating apps. It didn't work out that correct way. But they always joke with me. They're like, you're just still scared. You're still scared of getting hurt. That's why you pull away and it's easier for you. So it's maybe just finding the right person that's gonna break down my own walls, you know, that's gonna be able to be like, all right, I got you. Like, you don't have to worry. We can go as slow as you want to
Are there multiple people telling you that you're pulling away?
go. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Struck
Yeah,
my
it
air
it's
cord a little bit.
It there are.
Are
There's
you
been
pulling
been a
away?
couple. I think put me on the spot. I think I think there has been times I didn't give people the opportunity. Like you see one red flag and you're like gone. Like, nah, I'm not doing that. I see it.
It's a man that
And I
knows
don't
what he
want to
wants.
it's just I don't want to ask anybody to change. You know, there's adjustments. When you find somebody, you make those adjustments together. But asking somebody to change is a lot harder, right? They're going to want to, and then they end up going back to their own ways once they're not in love with you. So it's like, I need somebody to adjust, not change. So once you see those things, it's like, okay, yes, I could have given it a little bit more try. Yes, I could have done this a little bit better. But those women have become like really good friends. Like I have like four friends that are really good
And
that
do you
came
think that any
from
of them
dating
are
apps.
still kind of sticking around because they might be able to, like, fix you or change you in any type of way? Get you to stop pulling apart?
In the black. Not they
Right,
coming back.
that's a good question. I don't know because I kinda stupid when it comes to like, "Oh, I like you" signs. You need to tell me you like me, you still feeling me, because if not, then we're just friends, we're cool, you know? Could I see them in relationships with me? Probably. We've been friends enough, cool, but I kinda feel like the chick, like, "Oh, I don't wanna mess up our friendship," for a maybe. It's like, "Nah, we're cool where we're at. Yeah, I wish you the best. Who knows?"
I mean, I would
I don't
just
wanna hurt
suggest that
nobody's
you're as
feelings.
straight up as possible, only because knowing us females, there's some of us who will stick around to think that I'm going to be the one that changed him or, got him to. There's some women want to be the one like,
Yeah,
oh,
you
he
have to take
changed
that in
for
my
me.
life.
With these
You think so? I
take
guess
that.
both.
I
I
think
think
more
that,
men
but
do that than women.
men do that too. I think these particular girls, I don't lead them on. No, I'm not like, "Oh, we're gonna go out, we're gonna do this," and then he makes signals, you know? If we hang out, it's as friends. You wanna come over, come kick it, I don't care. No, but I'm not trying to take you out on dates or do anything like that or make any, moves or anything like that, even when we're drinking.
Okay. What's the ultimate goal?
Keep it
I
friendship.
mean, other than making friends, because it sounds like you've made a few, what is the ultimate goal of being on these dating apps?
I really want to show my kids what a true relationship is supposed to look like. Like, I want you to see what somebody in love does. I wanna show them how a man treats a woman and how a woman treats a man, where everything is 100, 100, not 50-50, not, "Oh, I'm gonna try," not arguing, not one in one room, the other in the other room. No, we're in this together. You know, and my kids don't need them all. They have a good mom, but I want a positive influence in their life. When it comes to a woman, I want a positive influence for my daughter. She's the youngest. You know, I want a positive woman in her life that's gonna help guide her through the stuff that I can't do, even though I'm trying, that I can't do. You know, when the mom's not there, hey, she can step in and help out as best as she can. So it's really just going back to wanting to be the best dad I possibly can and providing that for my kids. Wow, this is what a real loving relationship is supposed to look like. When I get married, I want this.
So you're open to getting married again?
She's got to be where I'm open. I'm open. I love the idea. I love the idea of getting married. I'm more scared of having my heart broken again. So if I could find somebody that I feel I can trust with my heart and not get my heart broken again, then
Okay.
I could do it.
You heard it. Okay.
So he's open,
Do you feel
ladies.
that you're at the point where you've healed enough from your heartbreak to allow yourself to open up again? Because, yes, you're dating, but clearly your friends, lady
And you
friends,
guys
are saying that you're pulling away. So, do you really think that you're open to finding that special person?
think I am. I think I am. It just I don't think it's gonna be an easy thing. Just like I'm quick to fall in love with infatuation. So I can like you a lot right in the beginning and just be like, oh yeah, this is it. And then 2 days later be like, nope, too many red flags. I'm out the door. So it's gotta get somebody past those couple of dates. You know, that's gonna be like, okay, she can see when I pull away. She can see when I'm kind of quiet into my own thoughts. And she doesn't question it like, no, this is just him processing, what's going on in his head. So I think I'm ready enough to give it a try. And it's gonna have to find the right person to be like, okay, hey,
Yeah. All
you know what,
right.
I
I
got you.
like it.
She out there. She might be listening. Hey, girl.
Send
Gotta
them
move closer, ladies. Move closer.
25-mile radius.
All right, we are at our mid-show game break. We are going to continue with our Sing to Me game. So I will ask Joe and Anish questions regarding some lyrics, and their goal is for them to not only answer it correctly, but to sing it as it should be. Okay? And then Anish, you will also be asking Joe and myself questions. That's correct, right? Okay, so make sure we're on the same page. All right. First one is for
Yes, ma'am.
Anish. Fetty Wap starts his song Trap Queen with which number?
Hey, I'm like, hey, what's up? Hello. Seen your pretty ass soon as you walked in the door.
Anish, can you repeat the number for me one more time? I need to make sure I got it right. You're very confident.
1748.
Wrong.
1748.
Wow.
38.
Ask me the question again. No. 38? Loud and wrong. 30. Wow.
It's,
That's the
well,
tequila
you know that. You just don't know the number.
that he's referencing too.
Oh, so I feel like I
Alright,
try to
well,
stick to
You
your
gotta give me
genre
something
of
easier than that.
music. Okay.
My kids are gonna kill me if I miss any of these then.
So in the
I stick
song,
to your genre of music too.
Nothing But a G Thing, who is knocking at the door?
God. I'm singing it in my head. I'm drawing a blank. You guys got me. Snoop Doggy Dogg, right?
Yeah, you
1,
got it.
2,
Okay.
3 to the 4.
You
Snoop
did get
Doggy
it.
Doggy Dr. Dre is at the door, right?
Yes.
Okay. It just took it's my old age kicking in. Like I'm still in cassettes. I gotta press stop, rewind to get there.
Okay, so what size drawers does Maya wear?
They have to be small, right? But
You're as
wait,
confident
That's
as me, ma'am.
trying to think of the song. I at least give you the name of songs.
I don't know.
Is it a 4? Am I allowed to steal that? Sorry.
Dang it, what's the
You stole
song?
it and you were accurate. You were right.
Yeah.
It's a 4. Whose drawers are
Hey, Maya's
these?
hot though. That's
You
why.
know I wear that's the
You
song.
know
I don't
I
know the song. I
wear a
can't think of the
size
song. It was whose drawers
4.
are these? You know I
Dang it,
wear
you
a
got me.
size 4.
She
That's
was my
all your
crush.
baby
Yeah.
mother. Okay. All right, Joe,
Good
this is for
song.
you.
Right.
You locked. Okay. Okay, Joe. What year did Cash Money take over?
99. Be positive. And the 99? I don't know the rest of the lyrics. I'm sorry. I just remember the verse like
Yeah.
Cash Money in the 99
Dang, I
and
would have
the
got that one right
2000.
away. I
There
was
it
already
is.
dancing in my chair.
Okay.
I can hear it in my song.
They take it over for the 9.
I was already at it. I was like 99 and the oh,
See,
okay.
that wasn't
They
bad.
take it over the 9 and then 2000s. Yes. Okay.
Nah.
All right. Well, thank you for playing
Easy
Sing to
peasy.
Me, Joe. You did great. All right. Moving on. So let's talk
Thank
about some of the best dating apps out there. So, Joe, you said you're on all of them. Okay. So, the best one, according to the
yes.
internet, is Hinge, which you said you're on. How do you feel about Hinge?
I like Hinge. It's a lot more people in my range of age and distance wise. It lets you message for free if you guys match up.
Mhm.
A lot of people take more pictures. Seems like more serious.
Okay. All right. So, according to the internet, Hinge is rated the best dating app overall, especially for those in their 20s and 30s. You could express yourself using voice notes and polls. You have a limited amount of swipes, which is pros and cons. So you're less likely to, I guess, just swipe all willy nilly, I guess. So some people like that, and then some people don't.
You have to be a little bit more particular with who you're swiping on. My system of just constantly swiping doesn't work on that. Don't max out because I actually have to like look at their picture, read a little bit of their profile, and then I look at their distance. Then I'll swipe.
Using the voice notes, I feel like that sounds so cringe to me. I don't know.
It's cringe to me. I don't use it, but it's nice to hear their voice. So it's nice to hear what they're talking about. Just a little bit of note, a little note of what's going on. So you can talk about anything. So most people's like, oh, the craziest thing I've done, or something I'm scared of, or little things like that. So I'll listen to 'em every once in a while. I haven't been turned
Like,
off by anybody's note
am I breathing heavy?
or voice. Well, there was one girl that obviously I don't know who she was, but she was like, "Oh," I'm like, "You're a dude, like, no way, like, don't put a voice command, don't do that." I'm gonna
That
message her just to
might
tell her
be
not to
actually
do that.
appreciated.
I can't because that's uses my swipe. I only get so many.
Okay, protect the swipes.
That was hey, that was one of my messages one time to a girl. I was like, "Hey, I only get so many of these, so girl, count this as you're lucky that I'm using my message on you."
Girl, don't do that again.
Yeah, she's like, "No, I appreciate that. Yeah, I
Wow.
know we don't have so many of these." Wow, so
All right, next one is Match. Are you on Match? Okay, all right, just checking. This is best for those in their 30s to 50s. There's a larger and active user base. You can browse through the entire dating pool before paying, and then you need an actual paid subscription to send messages, according to the internet.
for Match? So for Match, if they like you and you like them, you can talk. So if you're just trying to talk to them and I guess for them to reply, maybe I do have to pay, but I'm not.
The last one is called OkCupid.
That's trash.
You know what? I thought so.
Oh,
But why do you think it's trash?
Mm.
there's just so many fakes and just weirdos. Like there's no quality there. I don't think for a lot of people, honestly, I don't see the reason or why people would even get on it. Honestly, like there's nothing really free. You can swipe. It never seems to be in the area or what you're looking for.
Interesting. Okay, so it says that it lets you okay, first, it's the best free dating app, allegedly, right? But here's why. There's a kicker. It lets you be
Mm,
upfront about your dating
that'll
goals,
do it.
like casual hookups, long-term relationships, and non-monogamy. So it just kind of seems like it's probably more than likely a hookup type thing, especially because it's free. At least that's what I got, especially, I mean, that's the only one that mentioned that you can be upfront about those casual hookups. Like, we all know what that means, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like prostitutes probably. It's a good way for them to make money.
I think the best free one is Facebook. Facebook Dating is probably the best. It's just there. It's a random tab somewhere. It just says dating, but same thing. Radius, mouse pictures. You can talk to whoever you want to. You can message as many people as you want to. You can't continue to message that person if they don't like you back. But once they like you back, you can talk. But it gives you what you're looking for, like friendship, something casual, long term relationship,
Okay.
marriage.
All right. So
Free wise,
Facebook
like
it is.
Facebook.
Yeah, for free. But well, how are you on Hinge?
But I haven't paid for
You don't
any
have
of
to
them.
pay for Hinge? Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm not wasting it. It's free. Like I said, but I just stop at my 10, or whatever the amount they give me, and I message who messages me back
It's like a month.
per day. You only get so many per day. So
I
maybe
mean, that's
like
all you need to like a day.
7. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, how often do you have time to be on the
I
apps?
mean,
It's just, it's, oh, I'm bored. Let me just swipe a couple
yeah,
times.
yeah, I guess that's what they're expecting. I can see that.
Yeah.
That means I don't I go outside when I'm free, but I don't see 10 people a day. So I think that's a respectable number.
And I'd rather be swiping than
Which is
going up to people, and
actually what I wanted to get
that's a whole
to.
nother issue.
So, yes, clearly you use the dating apps and you're on
Okay.
all of them. Okay, ladies, it's on all the apps. But okay, all right, he's not
Looking
hoeing
for the
around.
right
He's
one,
not
not
hoeing
hoeing
around.
around. Get it right.
But what is wrong with the old school way of dating? Just like going out to places and meeting people. Cause you do go out. Maybe not often, but I'm even a nice church lady.
Um, I'm I'm pretty mellow. I'm pretty like laid back. So I've never been the type to approach women like even when I was younger. It was rare occasions or enough alcohol. It's just like, okay, who cares? But I think it's more has to do with a confidence level. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna go over there and be like, hey, can I buy you a drink? And you get it for 20 bucks and you don't even want to talk to me. Like you hear half of these guys as they buy them all their drinks for, or you hear girls like, I'm going to get free drinks all night. I don't care. You don't know I'm married. They're getting free drinks all night just because some guys like, can I buy you a drink for 2 minutes of conversation? Like, I'm not that desperate to like just buy you a drink to talk to you for 10 minutes. So be approaching somebody in that type of aspect, like at a bar or something, is probably not going to happen. Nor do I really want somebody that's always at the bar at the club. So trying to make that judgment call. When I'm there, if you approach somebody like they say, "Oh, go to Target or Home Depot, that's a good place to meet women and stuff like that." You just sound like a weirdo to me. Like coming up to some random girl and being like, "Hi, I think you're cute. Do you need help picking out your lumber?" Like, you know, if I'm at Target, the same thing. Like, what are we looking at together? That's probably at Target. Like deodorant? I don't know. Or the same aisle for what detergent. I wash my clothes too. Do you? Like, right? Yeah. At least she's
Not
looking
her
so
taking baths.
right. And then I think of at church of like all the bad things I want to do
Well,
to you. We
you're
should
not
have this
doing bad
conversation
things
at
right
church.
away.
So yeah, no, it's just no. I think like I said, it's more of a confidence level in where you're at in your situations. Say for somebody at church, if they come talk to me, I'll talk to anybody. So you come talk to me, but I won't go talk to them. Is I don't know how religious you are. So what we will go back to, I don't want to change anybody, but I don't want nobody to be like, oh, you're not religious enough for me, or they have a different expectation, you know, and vice versa. So yeah, I don't see myself going up to anybody. It's happened, I have, but it's really,
Okay.
really
All right. So uh, I need to know. Okay. I think we all want to know. Anisha wants to know. What is the worst date that you have been on since being on the dating apps? You don't have to name any names.
I think I've had okay. I got a couple, and I can try to go through it quick for you guys. So one, she looked like one of my aunts. Not a particular aunt, but she looked like she in the family somewhere, and we was kicking it. She was cool. No, I was like, I can't do it. You're like an aunt. I just no. I spent $100 for no reason. Uh,
Was she in the 50 range?
she was a little bit older age, yeah. And I was like, you're like a Thea, like you too
Like she was at the
cool,
horseshoe
but you
tournament?
got that old style. Can't do it. One girl, yes, exactly, exactly. Like, nah, you probably mess with like an uncle or something. Like, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay with every area. You know, you got to ask certain questions first. Another lady, she had really big hands. So if you guys are old enough to watch Seinfeld, there's an episode where the lady has really big hands, and it just focused on him going on a date with this lady with huge hands. And so as she's talking to me, I'm just weirdly staring at her hands. I'm like, those are so huge. Like looking at my hands, like, damn, my hands are small. Like, you're the man now. And now you're gonna hold my hand? Now this looks weird. And then she started touching me with her big man hands. And I'm like, nothing major, but just a little friendly pet. I'm like,
No.
what, am I gay now? Like, you're a man. Like, like, and so
Like,
like we
weird.
ended the date and she was far away. So I was cool with that. I walked her to her car and she's like, I got these mangoes. They're so ripe. Here, Phil. And she's just like the Incredible Hulk squeezing these mangoes. And I'm like, yeah, I can't do. I had one that I would say catfished me a little bit. So used like 15, 20 different filters on her face, which is just come correct. If that's what it is, that's what it is, an extra chin. Like everybody has a little double chin, but she had an extra, extra chin, right? Like, no, 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 not you. No, y'all don't like a toad type deal going on. And so like, just be honest, like you were a nice person. You were really cool. And I did try to be nice and when we were there, hung out for like 2 hours talking, and I just couldn't do it. So those are probably the 2 worst dates that I've been on. But thank God, like I said, I've met a lot of nice women, a lot
Yeah.
of a lot of cool people, just not the right ones. But I do
Can
get
I
scared of that.
have a question?
Sure.
How long have you been on the apps?
Yikes.
Probably like 2 years, like 2 years,
Do you
like
have
right
a
after
cap?
the divorce. What do you mean? Recap as in
Like, I don't know. So, like, this dating approach, like, are you 100% comfortable with this approach of dating?
Yes, because of what we talked about earlier. So there are
With
times
just
where
meeting people?
I get off, yeah, I get off the apps and I'm just, you know, good for a couple months, fine with my kids. I'm good. I'm tired of the swiping. I'm tired of the same conversations over and over again. So yeah, I'll get off them. So it's not like consistently, but when I'm like, okay, let me try again. That's there's no caps. So maybe the right one will just come up to me like, hey, you're my boyfriend. Well, okay,
Okay.
sure.
That's what happened to my son.
See, if it worked out, did it work out? Right?
I mean, listen. I was like, young sir, baby sir.
Yeah.
And he just accepted his life. He was like, yeah. The mom told me that they were like boyfriend. She was like, yeah, my daughter was like, oh, there's my boyfriend. And I'm like, she was pointing at my son. And I was like, that's weird. Because I didn't know he had a girlfriend at 6. And so anyway, he just accepted it. He was like, yeah, it's my girlfriend. Okay, baby. Come on,
Yeah,
baby. Come
that's
on,
my way to
mama.
be my tape for be like, yeah, you're my boyfriend. Okay. She said so.
Okay, just
I like a
don't
woman that
look
takes
like a
charge. Go
Thea,
ahead.
don't palm
There it is.
a
You heard it
basketball
first,
with your
ladies. Yeah.
hand, and don't have a frog neck, and Joe will be good to go.
Be nice and
Just
sweet.
don't
That's all
touch
that
him
matters
with
is what's
your
inside.
big old hands.
Your
Your man
non-frog
hands.
neck.
He's not looking for that.
Bad heads. Yeah, don't pick up rocks.
Build a palm of basketball.
Palm a basketball. Look like you've been working with concrete all day. I got you
All
lotion,
right.
babe.
Well, this has been a great time. So before we close out, Joe, do you have any advice for the ladies who are out there on these dating apps looking for Mr. Right? What things maybe should they stop doing, should do more of? Maybe when it comes to their profiles or approaching men, what any advice you can give to our lady listeners who are out on the dating apps?
I think almost like the old school thing, just give the nice guys a try. Might not be the best looking, but there are some really nice guys out there. Stop with the so many filters. Like the filters can get really, really bad. Be honest and front. This is how I look like. This is how I act, and let you be accepted for who you are. Because that's what the man wants. I want to accept you for who you are.
Yeah, I like it. I need any more
That's
questions
great advice.
before we let Joe go?
No, Joe, you have been amazing. You've been open and honest, and we appreciate your presence here and joining us and agreeing to hang out with us and your crazy sister. We wish you nothing but success on your dating journey, and we're always rooting
Yeah.
on
And
for
as I
you.
root for you as
I
well,
So,
appreciate you
thank you.
guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. I had fun.
yes, Joe is like our self proclaimed number one fan. So, yeah, so thank you. He has been listening for day
Oh, I
one.
love you guys. You guys are hilarious. I was like, I want to be on the show all the time. I got so many questions. You should let me call in. Like, he's not officially on the show. He sits in the background just making random comments.
But yes, thank you so much. But really quick, please keep in mind that whatever lady friend person you bring around, okay, they're also going to be part of my family, our family. So we got to like them too.
Our
Okay.
family.
If you need me to start
Yes.
swiping right for you,
You guys get
you
the
just let me
okay
know. I'll come to
first.
your house and I'll start.
Are you on social media?
All right. So you can find Joe at Joe5826 on Instagram. Okay. And then, like he said, he's on all of the dating apps. So look for some Joe out there and hopefully that you found the right one. Okay. Yes. So we will put,
Just
That
go to
would
his
be
Instagram first.
okay. All right, Pores. Well, we are at the end of our show. Once again, Joe, thanks for being with us. Thank you for listening to Pouring and Parenting.
Where sip happens and we pour about it.